Okay, I think we're on. Now,
Are we on?
let's see if we can stay on here.
I know between the internet and between YouTube, I don't know if we're going to be able to stay on long or not.
So I've been chatting with some of y'all guys already. Miss Rebecca, Rehab Life, Walker Farm, Fam, 5 Minutes, Sam.
Hey, Big Dave,
Supper
how are you,
at
man?
7. All of you guys are jumping on. Thank y'all so much.
Starlene, Airway, how are y'all? Hey, Larry, what's going on, man?
So we appreciate y'all jumping on.
I'm trying to switch. I'm sorry. I'm trying. All right, we're good to go. Tiffany Taylor, how are you? Yeah, so what about that?
West Texas, thank you for joining us.
What about that situation with YouTube? What was the situation there? It cut everybody's videos off.
I think everybody went down. I don't think anybody could pull anything up. Walker Farm Fam said that they were in the middle of their live.
Oh, wow.
Which we've kind of been. We come home and we did what?
Got crazy busy at the farm.
Started running around like we were crazy, y'all. I mean, you know, when you leave and you go away and you come back and you have people helping you out with the farm, but you just, you know,
can't do it like we can.
You just got to go around and make sure everything is okay. All the animals are okay. And so we come home, basically put everything up, spend a little bit of time with the kids, just a few minutes, and then we all went right out to the farm and got right to work. So
that's right. I'm just trying to say hey to everybody. Hey, Linda Cole. Hey, Sue. Hey, TNS. Appalachian American Homestead, Upper East Tennessee. Beautiful place.
It is. Thank you for joining us. Speaking of East Tennessee, we just come home from East Tennessee. So that was a lot of fun.
Down at Justice Acres, Miss Rebecca. Old lady Delaney. What a cool name.
Aiden did a great job. He did do a great job. Milking is most definitely the most difficult part of running the farm, I would say. So since he did so well, we were very thankful, very happy for that, and he did get rewarded.
You know, when he started milking about 3.5 weeks ago with me, with me there and just kind of training, really heavy training, and he knew he's been out there plenty of times with me before, but never just been the one that's in control. So he really did well the last week before we left. At first, I was like, "Oh man, this might be a bad decision," but he really popped it out and came out great. He did phenomenal. But he did tell me, he said, Walker Farm Bam, he said, I am sleeping in the morning. Misty and them are off school for the next few days until Monday.
This was kind of like our fall break, I guess you could say. So, because we pretty much worked through when most people took their fall break. So this is kind of like our fall break. And yes.
He said he is sleeping in the morning.
We told him when we come in, we were like, well, you did such a good job. We'll just let you keep milking for us. And he was like, I'm good.
Hey, I will say this. We didn't get any storms for Rehab Life, so that was pretty good, too. Hey, Stivers, what's going on, man? Happy to have y'all. We enjoy getting away. Don't get me wrong. We don't do it a lot. So it's hard for us because we miss our children, miss our kids, and then miss our family and the farm.
Yeah. So we had a great time away. It was like we've told y'all in some of our videos. It's very different for us because it has been.
Hello, North and South.
Jennings is 2.5, and it was before I got pregnant with him. So it has been at least like 4 years. Since we've gone anywhere by ourselves,
and we've never went that long.
And we typically would leave on a Friday, and at the longest come back on a Monday. So we got a really great time away. We had a blast. It was a lengthy time, I would say. And of course, you guys got to see us go visit with the Stivers, and we enjoyed that so much. And we've expressed that to you guys in the videos that you've been able to see. And man, you guys have blown us away.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, how are you? So again, I know the Stivers are on here. We had a blast. So we'll kind of start with the first part of our trip and kind of work us all the way back to where we're at now. So you plan for a long time for us to go on a trip. Anytime we talked about that, we planned with Aiden, and really it takes us a while to get all the animals taken care of. Me and Aiden had worked at night pretty much for about a week and a half, 2 weeks before, trying to prep the animals for this trip.
And that means rotating them to new paddocks.
And bigger paddocks to hold them there, so Aiden's not having to rotate while we're gone.
Right.
So we started doing that, and again, time change really just made me ill because we couldn't do anything in the light. So we were using the spotlights off the Ranger.
Because basically, when Colby gets home from work now, in like 30 minutes, it's completely black.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
and on a farm, that's just not good.
I know, it's crazy. So thank you, North and South. Yes, the subscriber count has been phenomenal. And
yes,
again,
that's what we were saying. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
y'all so really blew us out of the water. And we have a video coming out on us talking a little bit about that. So we hate to blow it, but man, y'all are awesome.
So we had already talked to the Stivers about trying to come and see each other, and it was going to work out. Hopefully, we didn't want to pre-plan for that, but we really hope to have that happen. So it was just a beautiful start to the week, though. We had let's see how it started. We left late the first day. We planned to go Saturday, and then we ended up leaving Friday. So we had a little extra time, but we got to stop in towns that we've never been in, and got to eat breakfasts that we've never ate, and just kind of just enjoy time together.
It was kind of like a downtime, I would say, for us. Just like a sleep in and rest and just kind of talk. Well, the bed was terrible that night. I told Colby we might as well have been on the floor. It was so uncomfortable.
So we, it's always good to me. Part of homesteading and homeschooling. Again, we have 5 kids, one on the way. I run a big business, and then also we do a lot of consulting, a lot of other business work, and then we run a huge farm. So sometimes,
I wouldn't say huge.
Well, a very busy farm.
Busy, it's busy.
I think that it was just nice to be a couple, because ultimately our couple helps make everything else go right. So it was really nice. So Saturday we were able to get up and do some things around the place. We had to get a new air conditioner. I don't know if y'all know, we had the cabin.
That was like a big deal.
Oh my gosh. So that whole ordeal went about 4 days. So we got done literally last night at 9:30. Mm-hmm. So we finished that air conditioner work at 9:30 last night. So we took a break to go to Kentucky, see the beautiful Cumberland Gap, and see the lakes all through there.
Y'all.
If y'all live, I know some of y'all live in Tennessee and Kentucky, going up to the Stivers area. That area is absolutely gorgeous.
Pretty,
it's ridiculous.
It is. It really is.
I come back to Mississippi and I'm like, all we see is flat ground and pines and an occasional cow.
It's just so pretty. And then when you throw in the color change, like in the leaves and everything, it's like, wow. I mean,
now
it's really breathtaking.
One thing I learned that when you live up there, you see just mountains all the way through. There's not a lot of little towns through there, but we were able to drive. It was only about 2 or 3 hours from where we were to see the Stivers. So we had a absolute blast.
A little mountain life. You've got a view like too, no other. If I can say, Little Mountain Life. If y'all are not familiar with them, y'all go check them out. They've got a lot going on their little mountain, but their view is
absolutely gorgeous.
Speaking of breathtaking, it's breathtaking.
So again, as we got to see the Stivers, the whole thing was just fun to be with them. It's been a while since we saw them.
It was really fun to catch up with old friends. We haven't seen them in over. It was over
a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. We were able to go to their fall celebration, which was last November, and that was a lot of fun. That's kind of where we were able to get to talk to them and share with them and learn more about them. And so that was a lot of fun. And but when you don't see somebody for a year, it's nice to just be able to go say, hey, what's going on? And they're in such a transition right now with the move and just a lot going on. So we were very thankful to them that they were like, hey, yeah, y'all just come on in the midst of, we know what was chaos. So that meant a lot to us.
And they have a beautiful place. To me, the stonework on their house reminds me of just the mountains. I mean, it was real pretty. And we really enjoyed, just got to see their place. We talked to our kids could not handle a white kitchen, but their white kitchen was beautiful.
It's beautiful, y'all.
So we really enjoyed that. And like I said, it was just nice to see the barns, nice to see the goats.
If we could pack the barns up. Oh,
I know. I wish I could just take us wood.
That old, beautiful barn. And I know that a lot of you guys have seen our barn, and it is absolutely beautiful, too.
Yeah. So we had a blast that day.
If wood could talk.
Hey, I went to I went to that local tractor supply. We okay. Let me tell you our situation. Just a little tidbit of what we do when we talk about organic. So we're in South Mississippi. So here, when you say you want organic alfalfa for your dairy cows and your lambs, people look at you like, what?
What
I mean,
are
what are
you
you talking
talking
about? And
about?
then if you're wanting alfalfa, it comes in huge bales and you order it. It comes from Kansas or wherever. But you're going to get fertilized conventional alfalfa. Well, we're not looking for that. So we found this company called Stanley Forage. And if y'all ever seen our video about what we feed our animals, that forage is on there. So every time we pass, we have three local co-ops, and not one can get the organic forage that
So
we
when
like
we
to
pass
get.
a Tractor Supply, let me show y'all how Colby be driving.
I'm like, I mean, if there is a Tractor Supply,
it in a minute.
I
We
will.
actually stopped at 2, so don't let him tell y'all.
Like down the road from each other, they're like 20 minutes apart. So we go in there. So anybody that, if we come in your area, I'm going to help you get your organic Stanley because I'm going to buy every bag in the store. So then they know they've got to restock it. So I promise you, we will go 4 or 5 different.
Every new town
everywhere.
we go to, this is what he says.
Hey, we got to have it. We might as well buy as many as
there's
they
a
got.
Tractor Supply here.
That's right. And I'm not one of, at first, I always wondered why people went to Tractor Supply. Like, I was like, you can get it from any co-op. I mean, but this was before the organic alfalfa. So I was like, I'm not gonna go buy, my boots or anything like that from Tractor Supply. So what are we getting?
Born and raised in the most beautiful state, Kentucky.
It was pretty.
Tennessee,
Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Tennessee is gorgeous.
It's so beautiful.
So we stop at every Tractor Supply we can to get organic alfalfa, and we come back with about 5 or 6 bags. So every place only has like 1 or 2 bags.
So even though we were trying to escape the farm, we never really escaped the farm. So there's some people on here that had come in.
Hey Terry, how are you? McLeod, how are y'all doing? Let's see who we missed. Marissa, how are you doing? Cindy Brown. No, you know what's so crazy? We don't have a local Tractor Supply. So for us, we have to either drive 30 minutes above us.
North or south.
That's right, or south. So we can't get it here. And if they try to deliver it, if you ordered the Stanley Forage in bulk, which we wanted in bulk, you can't. They charge a heavy shipping fee, even to the store, because it's so much and they don't ever get it.
I couldn't understand. I'm like, if you're delivering it to your own store, then why are you charging us a shipping fee?
I know.
So it was nuts. It will not work out for us.
And what is so crazy? So I called the store. I called Stanley Forage. I called their main 1-800 Stanley Forage number. And they're like, sir, I've never had anybody call and ask for one product that we sell, especially if you're not a co-op. So I said, hey, do you have anybody in this area? Well, they named my co-op. My local co-op can sell Stanley Forage.
But has been like,
it's been over 2 months.
The act of Congress.
I called them and said, hey, I need this.
Well, we've tried to go through all of them, and none of them can get organics. It's like crazy.
They actually can. But see, here's the kicker. They can only get the alfalfa straw bales in bulk order. So I said, well, can we get the organic pellets for me? And I said, I'll buy 2,000 or 4,000 pounds. I said, I know that's crazy, but let me get it. So she was so happy.
Ivy Acres.
She was so happy. She's like, yes, we will get it ordered. And that's been 2 months ago, and they're still telling me they're on the waiting list. So every time we pass the Tractor Supply,
Colby wheels it
in there. So,
and if we don't see one, he makes me look it up while he's driving. So
north and south, if you were in that area and there's a Tractor Supply, I'm sorry, I probably did buy it. So we go and we buy it, and we'll buy the orchard grass too. They'll sometimes have some orchard grass too, non-GMO. So we'll buy that as well.
Yep.
But I love the alfalfa.
Oh gosh, I hate to tell them the story that's going to be in the video.
We went all the way around the world with that.
We did, but we had a hilarious event happen while we were at the cabin. But I got it on camera, so I kind of hate to
think of what you. Oh yeah. Okay, so
leave it in the video, or
I don't even know. You even sent that. Have you even sent that to me?
I don't think so.
I need to put that together. So we okay. So every time when we take our 5 children,
Miss Sue,
when we take our 5 children to the cabin, because it's our cabin, we usually load up tools. I mean, our whole vehicle is loaded.
Everything.
Of everything. Because I know when I get up there, I'll fix some things. I'll have to do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. And the one time we go by ourselves to be able to do whatever we need to do, I forget it. I forget everything. I forget all my tools. I forget my boots. I wear my boots doing everything, and I forgot my boots. Actually, I laughed. I felt a little embarrassed when we went to the Stivers. I told Misty, I was like, man,
we got halfway there.
I said, I've got my.
Yeah, because I had already told Jen, look, anything y'all need to help, if y'all need us to help y'all do anything, we'll be more than happy to do that. Because I mean, that's like not out of the ordinary for us.
Yeah,
so,
and what was crazy,
we got halfway there, and Colby
like
was like, I don't have any boots. I didn't even think about boots.
I need to show you my shoes I wear all the time, but they're like the coolest imported
loafer. Story though.
So anyways,
while we don't have boots, Colby decides
I need to cut my grass up there. I cut my grass every time we go up there.
We have a little push mower that goes in the basement.
It's like a 30-inch push mower. And when I say it's the smallest push mower, cheapest push mower, and junkiest, crappiest push mower there is, it is. That is it.
And we had already been to Walmart like 4 times.
And I said, I'm not buying shoes. I mean, but I can't use the ones I got. I never forget this pair of boots.
And he was like, and I'm not going back to Walmart again.
So I said, I'm going to cut this grass. And I don't know if y'all seen our cabin. It sits on a
major hill.
It's like a hill.
I say major hill.
It's called the hillside.
It's a hill.
I mean, it's a good hill.
So, it's not the hills that we're used to.
Right. I mean, we're used to this. And it's like this. So I told Misty, I said, I'm just going to go after it. And she's like,
but you have to tell them where you went before you decided.
So we needed to, we were buying
He was like, I'm not going back to Walmart.
So I said, there's a Dollar General and a Publix right next to us. I said, well, Publix is not going to have any kind of like junky shoes or anything like that. I said, but Dollar General has some kind of flip-flops.
Like he was thinking flip-flops or like the big pawpaw white.
I was looking even for
teeny
like
boppers.
Slippers, like, like night slippers. Anything that I could use that I wouldn't have to use my shoes to cut grass because it was wet and nasty. And so I was like, hey, Pamela, how are you?
Yes, Sam, y'all have been there. Y'all know that it's a pretty nice hill.
So I told
he gets back in the car.
Yeah, so we went to Dollar General and I bought a pair of these thick insulated socks. They were like I had a choice of either ladies' pink socks or these black insulated like
I was like
bib socks.
I know you're not. You know what? He was like, this is all they had, and I looked in the bag. I was like, you bought a pair of socks to cut grass in?
They were thick, mind you.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I was like, you're going to wear socks and cut grass in socks.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, okay.
We're in a vacation area. Like our cabin sits next to a vacation area. So everybody that goes through there are vacationers. So we're always the weird people cutting our own grass because
sleeping off the porches, cleaning out the gutters.
All these people have these big companies that come in and just cut all their stuff. Well, I'm a cheapskate, so I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do it myself every time I go up there. So I'm out there in a very thick sock, Kathy, very thick sock. So I'm pushing on the side of this mountain with this. This is not a.
I got some video footage.
This is not a self-propelled mower. I mean, this is straight up old school. Like you are roughing it. Old
school, yeah.
And so my yard is. I mean, it's like this. So I'm cutting it, and the whole time I'm slipping. Not only is the mower slipping, but I'm slipping. So I'm literally leaned over,
and
almost laying down.
Riding by.
People are riding by, looking at me like, "What is he doing? What are you doing?" And so they can see my sock feet because I've got my jeans like rolled up, tucked into my
And I'm on the
nice
porch,
socks.
like laughing. Then he gets in stickers.
Hey, James.
So his socks are not as thick as he thinks.
It hadn't been cut because we hadn't been there, and my rental company that cuts it.
Farm fam said I'm a cheapskate. We could be friends.
I am a major cheapskate. Hey, Gravy Karen, how are you? Hey, Carla. So, anyways, I said I'm cutting this yard though.
Grid said just rent a goat. Yeah, we could have brought one of the Tiger's goats home.
It had those kind of
those. Granny Karen.
What are those sticker bushes
called? And Adler Farms.
What's those stickers called? They're like this. So it's like wild onions growing in my yard and some stickers. So I said, I'm going to cut it. I think every time I tried to miss the stickers, I stepped on more stickers.
Oh, I got tickled because
she's up there laughing at me.
I was trying not to laugh.
No,
but I did get tickled because I'm like, who in their right mind puts on black wool socks,
insulated knee-high socks,
and it's like hot, y'all. Like typically November, this time of year up there in the mountains, it's pretty cold, and it's like hot, like burning up hot. I mean, we can walk around and like be sweating, and he's out there in pants I think you actually had a short sleeve shirt on.
I did.
Socks on the side of this mountain.
Cutting my grass.
Mowing his grass with a push mower.
And
I got so tickled.
There was actually a few people, I think, rode back by twice just to see what I was doing. They acted like they weren't, but they were really riding by just looking at me. They were probably taking video. So if I go viral and I'm actually the crazy man on the side of the road in Sevierville County.
Well, I did get video footage because I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, who else in their right mind does this? Only Colby would do this.
And this is one of those mowers, like when I say it's like the $89 mowers, I mean, because I just bought it just to cut when I'm up there. And I'm using gas. I never thought the mower would crank. It cranks every 6 months, and for some reason it cranks up.
It does. I mean,
so it did good. I can't complain.
But it is pretty funny. I can only imagine what was going through those people's heads as they were riding by, seeing this dude pushing a push mower.
And then I'm real manly. Let me tell you how manly I am when I get there. Not only am I on my sock feet, and when I'm here, I have this nice big industrial sized blower that I'm blowing everything, making everything look good around the farm. Well, in my manly self up there, in my cheapskate way, I've got this little Black & Decker. I bet you it's this tiny little handheld battery powered blower. So you really feel manly. It doesn't even blow. I think I could blow it like that better than I could blow it with that thing. So
that's just part of his OCD, y'all.
Adler Farms.
Thank you so much.
That will go to a pair of socks to cut my grass next time. Thank you, Adler Farms.
Yes, thank you so much. Hey, and if you guys aren't familiar with Adler Farms, they had some awesome stuff going on their farm. We actually watched.
I like their pigs. They look like our pigs. So.
Yes, we were going through some YouTube channels today because we don't. A lot of times we don't have a lot of time to just sit down and just watch our friends as much as we want to. Sometimes we just have to roll with the punches. If we see somebody come out, we can turn it on while we're moving around. But today we got to sit down and we got to go through several of our friends' videos that were popping up and got to sit down and watch those. So y'all be sure to check Adler Farms out as well. They've got a lot going on over there on their homestead.
Our cabin in the woods, we're actually going to buy a pair. I told Misty, and we were going to go back to do it yesterday. And I just after I cut with sock feet, I said, I'm not worried about it now. I know I can do it. So I actually, we're going to put some shoes up there. I mean, we have
but Colby was
a lot of stuff up there.
I'm not going back to Walmart. I am not going back to Walmart.
Yeah, and I sure wasn't going to buy some high-end shoe to go up there and cut grass every once in a while.
We were looking for those big white, like grandpa status.
Hey, the Texas boys, how are y'all? I know. I was looking. Those Silver Series.
We thought for sure that the Dollar General, isn't that what we mean in the Dollar General?
I walked in there and I said, "Hey, do y'all have any kind of like slippers or like boots, some kind of cheap shoes?" They looked at me. He looked at me and goes, "Son, this is a Dollar General." I said, "Well, sir, you have socks and like T-shirts." I said, "You don't have any kind of like slipper?" He's like, "No, unless you're a lady. I got a pink, like a slide-on slipper." I said, "No, I'll take the socks." So I went with the socks.
So that was a super cute part of our
Smiley YT, what's going on? How are y'all?
Hopefully, you guys. I hope most of you guys will follow us on Facebook. We have the Max Facebook page, and we post a lot of just random pictures and stuff, things that go on our farm. And so yesterday we got to downtown Gatlinburg because we were going to do some walking around, just kind of getting out and about before we come home. So yesterday we pull up into the parking garage, just like one of the public parking garages, because when you go into downtown Gatlinburg, you have to park somewhere and some type of paid parking. So then we park and we're walking down the side of the sidewalk and we're, talking about the people and the new things that they've done.
I'm walking. Misty's like limping because she's like having a leg issue right now.
So anyway, we get to the aquarium and we walk past it and stop in our tracks because we saw the funniest thing ever. And we have been to downtown Gatlinburg many times and never noticed this, but we happened to be walking by and we're at the back side of the aquarium and they have this big sign talking about Ripley's Smoky Mountain Aquarium and blah 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 blah, and it's a sign showing which way it's going, and then it's got a cow over here, some pigs in the middle, and that was all, wasn't it? The cows
True
and the
rehab life.
pigs.
It was.
And we thought, wait a minute.
At
You
an
have
aquarium.
a aquarium sign, but it's surrounded by cows and pigs. Something just ain't right here. So we thought that was the funniest thing ever. We got so tickled at that. We were like, only a farmer would catch this. So we took a picture of it and we posted it on social media. We also have an Instagram page, so y'all be sure to check that out. The picture is just
we were not the only ones that caught it though. There was this couple from Louisiana.
But how many times have we walked by that?
I don't think it was there. I don't know if it was ever there. So we were actually. I mean, we walked by and we just kind of chuckled and laughed. I said, "Well, I'm gonna take a picture." So Misty went up there and she pointed and all that. But then when we were coming back by this Louisiana couple, and you got to know,
on our way back out.
I don't know if any of y'all from Louisiana. So we're from South Mississippi, so Louisiana's real close. So we're all about the same. So this guy with this Louisiana State, this LSU hat on said, "I don't know if they understand, but that cow and pig don't go in that aquarium." No, he was serious. He could be.
So we started laughing because I'm like, at least we're not the only ones. He was dead serious
though. He was like, "That shouldn't be there." I said, "Well, it shouldn't be."
Yeah, North and South that love Ripley's. Amazing mirrors. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that what we went into a few years ago?
We did a few years ago with the kids.
Yeah, that was fun. We know we've gone into the aquarium too. Like I said, we've walked by it many times, but I don't think we've ever noticed the farm animals around the aquarium sign. No. So anyway, we were like, we have to get a picture of this. Only farmers would catch this.
It's like that one guy. It's like you only have one job, and you put pigs and cows next to the aquarium sign. Like I don't know where he missed the place way back. I don't know what it was. Way over his head. It is a good aquarium.
It is a good aquarium.
I don't see any cows or pigs there, but it is a good aquarium.
It is. It's always been real clean and nice. We really like the layout. They have a lot in there.
SpongeBob is back, Sam.
So, highly recommended if you're ever in that area. But we thought that was super cute.
So, on top of that, so now let's talk about we decided to after we finished up at Gatlinburg, the guy finished up the air literally about 9:30 last night. Did a phenomenal job. Can't complain at all. So everything was working great. So at this point, we're visiting to head home because we have to get back.
Pamela said I was married in Gatlinburg.
Oh yeah,
it's a very special place.
Yes. So we went to we headed home today and got to watch a lot of videos, which was fun. Misty especially doesn't get to watch as much just because most of the time she's homeschooling and things like that. And so we got back home just to check everything out. So when we pull up, it's always exciting to see all our animals. More than that, it's exciting to see our children. We hadn't seen our kids in a few days, so we got to spend some time with them. We got to let them have fun with the farm, so they helped us do those last few little chores that we needed to do. So we started with what?
North and South said, I'm a bad parent. I totally crack up when the kids first turn into the glass. I can't help it. It's just too funny to
see. So anyways, we had a blast, but when we came back to the farm, it's just something about being back. We enjoy being gone. As soon as we pull in, right when we pull in, the sheep are right there. They're right there. So we get to enjoy just watching them run. And they know our vehicle. They know us. So I got in there and I was like, I started messing with them and they just run around in circles. Yeah. So they're used to us feeding them a little alfalfa, really. So they had a blast. And it was good to see them. Then you come by our pigs, come by our bees, and, of course, the cow. So it was just always fun. So
Sean and Eliza said, you ever notice Southern folks never actually just go somewhere without fissing to first?
Hey, yeah, we say fissing to a lot.
Yep, we sure do.
We really do.
Yeah, so we come home and kind of got everything unpacked and unloaded and went basically straight to work. So the kids obviously were at their grandparents' house the majority of the time, and they weren't here and they weren't using a lot of milk that was here. So I come in to a little over probably 4 gallons of milk.
No, it's 3 things so that's probably 6 gallons of milk because there's 2 more half gallons in there too.
Well, I come into a whole lot of milk, and so I immediately went straight to work. We skimmed off the cream. I'll be making butter with that tomorrow. And if you guys have not seen the butter video, y'all, it's really, really easy to do. If you have access to a local farmer that can get you raw dairy Jersey milk, Jersey's production of cream is
Hey,
some of the highest out there. So I'll be making butter with that, and then Allie will be freshening up.
Hey, Sarah.
Probably the 1st of January is when we're going to freshen her up. So that means
right when
the
baby is coming too. So it's going to be a really fun time.
Right. So that means
hey, Lisa.
No milk for us, and probably for about 2.5 months ish that we won't have milk. So what I have been doing, I did an experiment. So this is just a FYI for y'all
Super
out there.
Here.
I have froze store-bought milk before, and it did not turn out well for us.
That was years ago.
When I defrosted it, yes, we used to make we would go to the farmers market a lot. When Jennings was really small and before we had Jennings, but when Jennings come along, everything is kind of right up there in the road. So we had this past year, right? Decided not to do the farmers market because Jennings is so active, and it was just really hard to interact with our customers and stuff. Just kind of trying to watch him and the other kids too. So this year we decided not to. So I said all that to say this. But when we would go, I would make big, huge, fresh pans of cinnamon rolls. Well, because there's so many stipulations with the farmers market and all of that, with it being the what am I looking for that's so involved in the farmers market that has so many guidelines? The extension service has so many different guidelines and stuff where we couldn't make anything with any of our raw dairy. So I was having to buy store-bought milk just to make my icing.
Because it was their stipulations, and
right.
We buy like a half a gallon because we had tons of milk. We didn't need milk.
Yeah, and it only takes a little bit for the icing. Yeah. So anyway, I said all that to say this. So I would freeze the milk, and at one of my last rounds, I put the milk in the freezer and I pulled it out. We were like trying to shake it up, and the texture was just nasty. It was got like clumpy and cloddy, and I was like, okay, freezing milk is just not. So last year, we went without milk when our girls.
Well, they fell in a month difference, so I had only about 8 weeks or so.
Maybe not even that much.
Even that, yeah.
Because y'all remember Elsa? We had Elsa. She was our milk cow, our first milk cow, and then we had Allie. Once she had her baby, we've been milking her since, basically. And between the two, like Colby said, it was only, let's see, Allie had her baby, Josie, the end of November, so we really only had December and a little bit into January because that's when Elsa had Kristoff. Yeah. So it was, about that 4 or 5 weeks, like we were just saying. But we went back to buying milk. Well, this time I said, we're not doing that, which y'all know it was a very sad time that we had to let Elsa go. We really didn't want to let her go, but she just, because of her health, she just wasn't good here on our farm. So we just have Allie now. Mm-hmm. And when she freshens up, we won't be getting any milk. So I decided to try to freeze the milk. And I froze it with cream and without cream because I was concerned about that texture coming out like that. And y'all, they both did great. I was amazed. I actually did not even tell them. I just did it. When it defrosted, I would shake it up, put it in the refrigerator, and y'all, we drank on it. Raw milk is completely different from store-bought milk. So
we froze it with no issue whatsoever.
No issue whatsoever. It did not change the consistency, the texture, or anything. It was amazing. So now I'm going through the process of every time we get a little bit of abundance of milk, I put it in the freezer.
Okay, so you're talking about we have 7 freezers. For all you new folks,
and we can barely fit the milk in
freezers. So that's a lot of milk, a lot of sustainability in meat and vegetables. So the milk now has to go in the freezers where everything is coming back out with more food. So we're finding places now to put milk. Like today, I had a chicken in this hand and it had some pork and ham laid up here. And I was like, Misty, we can't fit any more milk in here.
And I was like, no, you get that milk in there because we're not going back to buying milk. Like we're gonna. So what I've been doing is I have been putting a half a gallon, which is 8 cups, in freezer bags and laying them down flat. So I've been freezing them flat so that we can stack them up. And the reason why we have such a problem,
I need to do it, Rehab Life.
We really do. But we kill our own meat birds. We have killed, or I say killed, excuse me. We have butchered our meat birds. We have butchered and processed our pigs, and our steer. So our freezers are full of our meat.
Yeah.
And we have, so for a lot of y'all that are new in here, I see a lot of new names and stuff popping up.
We can't sell it either. We just donate sometimes. It's pig rations.
Right.
Keep going. I'm
sorry. So we have worked. This was kind of our it year.
Right.
We spent probably the end of 2018 and all of 2019 preparing for meat sustainability this year. And that's why our freezers are full. So with the meat birds, the steer, the pigs, all of our vegetables from this past summer just really filled up our freezer. So that's why we have very little space. But we're getting more milk in there.
We have got a ton of milk put up. But see, we drink. I mean, we're used to getting 2 gallons a day, 1.5 to 2 gallons a day. So we usually drink a good gallon to a gallon and a half daily.
Yeah.
So
that's not including cooking.
We're not going to be able to put that much up. So we're going to ration ourselves to make sure we're not having to buy milk for those 2 or 3 months. Yes. So you know what it is. It's just another way that we're trying to prep.
Yes, yep. And Harley reminded me that we will be butchering turkeys in about 2 weeks.
We want a
Happy
fresh
Thanksgiving y'all.
turkey. So anyways, the benefit of coming back to the farm though is when we got back, we had some chicken issues, and if y'all know, I just get to a point where I just hate chicken. I get so mad at chickens; it makes me want to eat chicken. So we have some layers that are learning to get out.
There's a lot of parents that benefit from goat's milk, by the way. I saw that comment.
So we have a bunch of chickens that's been getting out, and they get in our new winter beds, and it infuriates me. Yes. They want to eat every little top of everything. So I almost had a chicken killing when I got home, by the way.
It is Drop's family.
So we did not kill the chickens.
Very easy.
But we did lock them up. So we put them in a way better, we put them in like jail.
And this is why we had broccoli, lettuce, onions. What else is sprouting? Carrots, several different things in some of you guys have seen where our greenhouse, our raised beds and stuff are out there, and we have just a handful of chickens that constantly get out of that coop. And while we were gone, I noticed before we left when I was watering that some of my broccoli looked like it had been nibbled on. They've gotten in our beds. They have ate down the broccoli, the onions, some of the carrots. What else was out there?
They ate our spinach.
All of our lettuces. Yeah, the green leafy greens.
I thought I was coming back. It's going to have this robust, pretty raised beds right next to the coop, and they were not there.
And so you guys
replant.
Saw that we have some biddies. Little baby chicks, and we put them behind the barn. We have a video out of us moving them from the garage because y'all all know that after a while the chickens inside, they start making a mess, they start flying out,
KJ.
They start stinking. So y'all saw us move those back behind, and we come back and we had 20 and now we're down to 12.
Yes, so we come back to missing chicks, and that's if y'all know anything, that is frustrating. I hate chickens getting out, and then on top of that, I'm missing them. And so, for instance,
and
now
you invest in them, and you work with them, and
this is our replacement. It's a succession plan of chickens, so they're not there. So it's one of those things where, man, gosh, they just infuriate me.
And we can't figure out how. This is the thing, though, y'all.
Both hen houses are
walked around
like jail.
Well, except for the big one, there is that little gap, but it's only like this big, y'all. Yeah. And that they can somehow go right through that. And it's not low. It's like up to my shoulders. But it's like they're like when the airplane right in that little hole. But we solved that today. But what was really frustrating is to get to the back and you're like, where are they all at and where are they getting out at? That's the thing that has really ruffled our feathers.
It has ruffled our feathers. That was funny.
So, because we walked around in there, even before we left, we noticed a few were missing, but we cannot figure out how they're getting out. So we went through the possible, well, maybe they're slipping through here, or maybe they're flying over here, and resecured all of that again. So we're hoping that we kind of nip that in the bud, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they won't get out anymore. But I mean, that's just kind of one of those things where you won't know.
We have so many animals, and the only ones that get out is the ones that
the chickens just
kill me.
And speaking of social media and stuff, I actually posted a picture just a few weeks ago when I'm telling you, these little sneaky rascals, they were getting in our asparagus bed and laying their eggs.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah. Chicken hawk, that's what got at least 3 of mine. I don't know that a hawk would be able to get
both
into that barn area. Right. I mean, they would have to do some pretty amazing flying maneuvers.
Yeah, both of these are covered. Actually, our permaculture, which we don't have any permaculture chickens on the grounds right now. We just have our turkeys and ducks on the grounds. No, we do have some permaculture chickens. We have our broilers out there.
That's right. The Freedom Rangers.
So the Freedom Rangers and all the chickens and ducks are still in nets. Small. And not, I mean, they have no covering over them. It's the two that's in the hen houses that are getting out. That's what's so crazy. That is what's so crazy.
They are ninjas. So we spent some time out this afternoon. That's what we were saying. We come home, we got unpacked, we had a great time. That was great. Literally, we went right to work, doing taking care of the butter and the milk. We went out and got right on top of the chicken issue because we immediately noticed, okay,
there's an issue.
Well, not only are we missing some, but they're eating all of our greens that we planted. So now we have to go back and we're going to have to reseed and start over.
Yep.
And, we know that's not the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Greens over there that's growing great.
But it's just like, okay, well, now I got to do it again. So we handled all that, and then we kind of went around to the rest of the animals. Looked great.
They did.
Our pink pigs are so big, huge. Y'all. They're so big, but huge. I still don't think that they're.
I don't think they're big.
I just don't. We just don't. We keep saying we're going to give them a little bit longer because we really don't want to. We really don't want to take them. Obviously, if they're expecting moms, and they are so big, but their teats are not filling up. They're not. They kind of went through a little phase where they seemed like they were swelling some. And I don't know if that's just maybe when they were in heat and that's kind of gone away and they're only going to do that just that short amount of time. We don't, we're not, I wouldn't say we're pig experts, but, we did notice a little bit
I just know that when they swell, they're just have babies. So.
Yeah. And they did a little bit, but it was like there and then gone. Yep. So we're just keep fattening them up. We'll keep fattening them up though. Cost dollars.
They
are big. So we
might be butchering turkeys and pigs. So you never know this next week.
We ain't.
Mama's gonna watch me butcher turkeys and pigs.
Not that I wouldn't want to, but that's a little.
I'll tell you,
I don't know that I would be prepared.
The one meat that we have tons of is our pig. That's because we have the most of it. Walker Farm Band Fruit. We need to do a pig roast for like Thanksgiving and invite 100 million people because these two pigs are huge.
They are really big and they look great. They look amazing. I mean, they've had the best quality life as far as rotating around in our pig forest. And, they get all of our scraps, which we don't have scrap milk like we used to.
No, we don't. Not as much.
We were milking Allie and Elsa. There would be times where we could not do enough with the milk and it would go, it would go pasty before we could use it. So they would get all of that good stuff.
Yeah. They get all our scraps, which are organic.
All of our scraps, any green turnip roots or anything like that extra that we don't have, they get all of that too.
But they are huge. They are huge.
And they look great. But the sheep did too. They were chasing us around the net thinking that we were fixing to feed on
I thought the sheep, I think they did cartwheels and somersaults, man. They were so excited to see us. They were going everywhere.
And I got a clip, y'all. It's beautiful. I can't wait to show you. They're like running after us with the sun setting in the background. It's beautiful. I can't wait to show y'all our new upcoming videos.
So, Petey and Christoph are growing great. They are looking excellent. If you hadn't seen those in the video,
I eat roasted pig.
Bacon wrapped everything. I think we could do that with all our food. So, but Petey and Christoph are looking great. They're growing up to be the next, beef on the farm. So they're looking really good. Christoph will probably be a little bit quicker than Petey.
He's a few months older.
Yeah, a few months older. So we probably around March or so, Christoph will probably be processed. I always try to look for the right words to say. So he will be processed, and then from there, Petey will grow.
We ain't trying to be too political
I'm
here,
sorry,
but it's a farm. But
they're gonna turn into steaks. That's what it's gonna be.
But we were glad to get back home and just kind of, we had some like the very first thing that we noticed when we walked in the door.
Wait, hold on. So we go to our cabin to fix an air conditioner. To pay to fix an air conditioner. We come back and it's hot. And I'm like, man, it is so hot. So then we walk into the house and it's 80 degrees. Guess what?
Our air at the house
is not working. So then
but it's okay. I mean, it's okay. We worked through it. I mean,
it was crazy.
It was kind of like a kind of afternoon, but now, I mean, sitting back at the end of the day, everything is fine. We made it back safe. The kids were fine when we were gone.
That's
they had a great time without us, and
Drops
they did fine. And yep. So we're very blessed, very thankful. Looking back at the end of the day, we were out there chasing those chickens and trying to get those lines put up in the holes. It was kind of like one of those things where we were like, we can't catch a break. What's going to happen next? But everything is in its place, hopefully secured down for the night. And, we feel blessed to be able to have the responsibility to take care of those critters.
And we have about 10,000 square foot gardens. Y'all know that. Y'all seen other videos. But I'm going to show you some footage soon of where the turkeys are. They're right at our back door. They're right where our edible landscapes are, which is our blueberry patches, our herbs, our raised beds, right next to our greenhouse. So we're going to let them till up this area and stay right there and actually be there a little bit longer than normal so they can take all the grass out. Then we're going to do it back to Eden style gardening for market.
Garden.
I know. Why do I want another garden? So what I think I want is to be able to rotate a lot heavier. Right now we're rotating and using seasonal. If we have more gardens, it allows this one. We're going to make this one more of a true perennial style with a little annual, whereas the other ones are definitely annual. So we're trying to build more beds
for those that are new in here, we try to give areas rest and use the tarp methods because we really shoot for a no-till style gardening. So when, for example, right now what is tarped, and if you guys go back and watch some of our older videos, you'll see how this past spring we pulled all that back. We got all that prep. We grew up our garden. Then we did a chop and drop. I'm gonna come up with a new word if I mix those. So when we got done with that, then we covered them up with silage tarps and that rest. And basically the nutrients from the vegetables that we chop down will break down and decompose and go back to the soil and refeed it. So when we allow time in that area for that to rest and that to break down, and those nutrients to go back in the soil, we have to have another place for our fall stuff. So that's kind of what we mean by more areas as far as letting this one rest and rotating our fall crop over here. Then we'll rotate our summer crop over here. So that's kind of what we mean by that.
Sam, the tarps we use Farmers Friends tarps. They're 20 by 100. They're in our Amazon cart. You can buy them directly from Farmers Friend. The only reason we buy them from Amazon is because it tends to be a little bit less because of shipping.
And I know Miss Kathy or Grammy Karen can get you guys those links
That's
to our
right.
Amazon store. And the store in there, it's broken down into categories, so you can go straight to the gardening section, and it has everything. I would say like 95% of everything that we use for gardening in there.
Sarah Stoddard, do you have any videos for beginner beekeeping? I want to get into bees. Yes, if you go back to our bees, now our bee videos are definitely not the most popular videos. A lot of people don't really like bees. I love them. They've become
a lot
big
of people
part.
actually have a fear of bees. They're actually afraid of bees.
And don't get me wrong, have a healthy respect. If you've seen any swelling,
always have a healthy respect.
Any swelling issues I have, it's terrible. But if you go back and watch some of our ones, we talk about nukes and the importance of nukes. We talk about every part of the bee hive, the bee apiary. So we have some great bee videos. Again, it's I think it's under we have a playlist called "It's All About Bees."
Right.
So you'll be able to watch them. Some of them are good. Some of them are hard to film because you're in a bee, you're a beekeeping
Well, when you're trying to press record with your big gloves on, it's not the easiest in the world. But
we have 13. About 13
we like
right
to take the camera into the beehives and kind of show y'all different things to look for, like where there's like brood versus honey versus pollen. So a lot of that is in our video. So I would think that you could learn at least the basics from our videos. We're not experts on bees, but we do have a sound basic knowledge of.
And we have a great mentor that we utilize. We are, again, I always say this, but we are very organic in the best of terms when it comes to beekeeping. Meaning, bees. It's hard to say bees are organic. I don't believe anybody can say bees are organic unless they're in some kind of enclosed 5-mile radius. I mean, which is impossible. Our bees, we don't feed sugar water.
Explain that though.
Okay, so bees feed 2 to 5 miles.
They travel
off to actually to collect their nectar and pollen to make honey. So the thing about that is, remember, you can control what they're eating on your farm, but you can't control what they're eating on your neighbor's farm. Now we're in a wild area.
The people that drive down the road and spray poison on the weeds under the power lines that they go eat on too.
So we try to be as natural as possible. We don't actually do any kind of treatment to our beehives other than watching them and looking at them. The thing about bees, remember this though, you're going to lose some hives, but then you're going to gain some hives. So it's always ebb and flow. Like for instance, our spring this year, we went from having 12 hives to 17 hives. We've had 20 at the most, but we went to 17, then back to 10 because we lost a few and a few splits didn't make it. Then we went back up to about 15. Now we're back down to 12.
So in our opinion,
out about one more extra.
Learning the importance of splitting your hives and how to do that is very important because if you buy, and we always say buy 2 hives, at least buy 2 hives together. But if one of those go or both of those go, then you're back down to square one. And unless you can set up some traps and stuff in the woods, they're not as cheap. I mean, I would think. I mean, I would personally say getting started in bees
can be
expensive, but
you can make your money back.
You can very easily make your money back from selling the honey.
So I mean, if you were saying anything on the farm that made more money quicker as an investment, I'd say bees.
Definitely the honey.
Because your honey is going to be sold quick. You can sell your wax. You can sell your propolis if you wanted to. I mean, you can sell every part of the bee, what the bees produce.
Yeah. So that's. I'm glad you brought up bees. We love our bees. We think bees are awesome. We don't talk a lot about bees much, especially if it's not like spring or fall and we're like, dealing with them the most. But we do enjoy our bees a lot.
We actually sold last year just by word of mouth and sold out because we don't use really a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
We use honey as our main sweetener for anything and everything.
So we have how many gallons of honey?
And we had 22 when we started this year. I mean, this spring harvest. We're down to 10 to 12 gallons. Well, we are down to 10 up top, and then the one we just opened. So we're down about 13 gallons.
A few quarts and a few gallons. I mean, a few quarts and a few pints to some of
Yeah,
our
Shawnee,
locals
Alaska.
that just are, please, can we, we really want to buy honey from y'all. Can we please have some honey? So we did let a few go, but the majority of the rest we use. I mean,
Yep.
I don't put sugar in pancakes. I don't put sugar in biscuits. I mean,
It's all honey.
anything like that, it's all honey. We
The
use
only
all of our honey
the only thing we really use for sugar is kombucha, and that's organic
to
natural
make
sugar.
tea.
Yep.
Yeah. If you use honey, it's not actually called kombucha anymore. It's called jus, I think is what it's called. So,
Ed, we have Italian bees here. Now we have a few. I would say we have some, mutt bees too. Just natural bees. That's probably no telling what kind they are because we've rescued them from different places. But totally more of a Italian bee.
hey, new bee supporter here. Hey, new supporter here. I still got bees on my brain.
So, anyways, we talk a
y'all
little
so
bit
much.
about bees, and you'll see that. So, anyways, so we had a great live. Thank y'all so very much. We're glad to be back on farm. You'll see a video coming up of us coming home. We'll finish that up. Secondly, you'll see a video on how we put our gates on our fencing, so you can get an idea of that. But thank y'all so very much for coming on.
We really appreciate
We really appreciate it. We had a great group here tonight, and like I said, we go all over. For anyone new to our lives, we go from start to this to the next to this. So,
hey, the Stiver sent me over.
thank you, Miss Susan.
Yeah. Yes, look,
without
y'all
the Stivers,
tribe,
y'all,
yes,
that's right.
y'all blew
rock.
us out of the water. Y'all are amazing.
Y'all rock. So thank y'all so very much for coming on tonight, and we had a blast. If y'all have any questions, shoot them to us. We try to answer them as much as we can. And about the bees, comment on those, and we try to answer those as well. So thank y'all again for coming, and God bless y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
She
got it out.
Last one in.
Happy homesteading, y'all.